Hello YouTube, it's Carrie here for Proof Weight Loss Surgery Works, and I am your Saturday vlogger. Our subject this week is on how do you handle stress and highly emotional situations without using food after weight loss surgery. And I have to say, I've been through this a lot, and I haven't always dealt with it in the right way. I think the first year, because I still had so much restriction from my surgery, um, I couldn't really eat my emotions, and that made me have to sort of sit with those negative emotions and kind of deal with it in a different way instead of using food to run away from it. Um, and then further out, when I was able to eat more, I did revert back to some of those old habits, and it did result in regain. This was particularly bad when I was going through my divorce, which was so stressful, and I was sick at the same time, and that's when all my regain happened. I mean, I had, like, that 100 pounds of regain doesn't come from nothing. Um, and going back to those old foods, like, oh my gosh, Chinese noodles, like Singapore noodles and all that, like, just that kind of leave you almost comatose. And believe me, I did not feel well after eating that stuff. But old habits die hard. Do I do that now? Not really. One of the things I do is make sure that I deal with things in a way that the stress doesn't hit me all at once, and it can be difficult to do that. It's sort of a learning process of how to simplify your life and to make a cognitive shift that makes it easier to handle certain situations. Because I went through such a stressful time with my divorce, I actually did cognitive behavioral therapy, and that gave me a lot of skills that I use to handle stress. To not get overwhelmed, to do the breathing techniques, and to think about things in not such catastrophic ways, but to step back from a situation for a moment and just rationalize everything instead of just reacting. I find that really, really helps. There's another breathing technique that I use a lot called 4-7-8 breathing. If I'm feeling really, really overwhelmed, I'll do 4-7-8 breathing, where you breathe in quickly for 4 seconds, you hold it for 7, and breathe out slowly for 8. And it actually works on your central nervous system, and just calms everything down. And that can put you in a better place to deal with something. When you're talking about something that's more of a chronic stress situation, like maybe dealing with a parent who is ill, or a situation that doesn't just go away right away, that sustains stress, sometimes I do plan my eating around that, so that I know that I'm going to want that sort of comatose munching. And so buying the right foods and setting yourself up for a situation so that you're not just at the grocery store and making a snap decision and getting chips or popcorn or all that kind of stuff, or you're choosing a better option if you decide to have something like a snacky, popcorny thing. And also realize that that might affect your hunger levels, and plan for that. Make sure you have some dense protein to counteract the hunger response that you're going to get after that. Yeah, old habits die hard. But another thing I want to mention, actually, is that ever since I stopped eating processed foods and all that, and started eating a more natural diet, I find the stress doesn't affect me the same way anymore. I don't have the same highly emotional responses that I used to. I don't have as many, like, stress meltdowns as before. I'm able to handle things easier, and it's like my brain works smoother, if that makes sense. I don't get caught up in certain thoughts, and I'm not able to break it. I'm able to handle things better now. And so I think having very, very good nutrition is part of that picture of dealing with stress. And it's funny because we do have a tendency to go back to these sort of comfort foods that are highly processed and that don't make us feel well. And that's just sort of like adding insult to injury. And it's funny that we have that sort of draw to those things. And I think a lot of it has to do with marketing, and how it has to do with upbringing and getting treats when you're not feeling well, or, you know, in difficult situations when you're younger. And I think it's good to break those habits with new habits. So if we want something that's comfort food, or we want something that's a treat for ourselves for dealing with a hard situation, or dealing with stress or something difficult, um, find a new treat that's healthier. Like, I mean, like I've said this before, for me that's lobster. I love lobster. So spending a little bit of extra money on some good ingredients that I know I'm going to just totally love, um, is a better option than me getting something that's like an from my old life, pre-weight loss surgery, that I know is going to make me feel terrible. Um, so yeah, just this cognitive shift is important in ultimate success when it comes to weight loss surgery, and maintaining a healthy weight, and maintaining a healthy mind. Yeah, cognitive shift for everything. Definitely. Anyhow, I hope everybody's having a great week, and have an awesome weekend. See you next week.